What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. So it's the last day of 2017. Of course, I want to quickly wish you all a happy new year going into 2018. Let's hope that it's going to be an awesome year. And I'll really quickly tell you, there's some people that are already going crazy with fireworks here. So if you do end up hearing them, I don't know if the microphone will pick up on them or whatever, then you know why that is, of course. But yeah, anyway, I mean, going into 2018, of course, there's quite a few games that I'm personally, and I'm sure many of you, are very much, of course, looking forward to, right? And one of those is obviously the new God of War. Now, basically, there have been a couple of details that we've come to know about the game at both PlayStation Experience, of course, in the beginning of December, and also very recently with the ESRB rating that has been published online, which included some new details about the game. I wanted to pretty much go over all the new details and talk about them with you all, so yeah, let's simply get into it, right? So, one of the biggest things that we obviously learned at PlayStation Experience, although there really wasn't much to be learned there, was that Cory Barlog said that, first of all, the game right now is in its playtesting phases. So that means that the people right now that are working on the game, they're not really adding anything anymore to it. It's just, you know, finding the bugs, smoothing everything out, and polishing the game to the point where, you know, it's the most perfect it can be, I guess. So that's cool, and that tells you, of course, that we're in the final stages, and that the game is going to be or is looking to be, you know, finished very soon, right? Second of all, this was a huge announcement, and this is what a lot of people got very excited over, and that's that he revealed that the game might take you around 25 to 35 hours to beat. And of course, that is a huge amount, right? Like, nobody can deny that, because previous God of War games used to be around the, what, like 10 hour, maybe 15 hours of length? I think it's more like 10, to be honest. So, yeah, that is quite an improvement. And the reason why I think it is this long is not that I actually think that the game itself is gonna necessarily be 25 to 35 hours just to beat it, but I think that, you know, a lot of people made the comparisons from the very beginning already when we saw it at E3, that the level structure seemed very similar to a game like Tomb Raider, where you saw that, I think at a certain point at E3 2016, in that demo, Kratos discovered a campsite or whatever, right? So you could apparently rest there maybe, and yeah, I don't know, like acquire new skills or something. Very similar, once again, to Tomb Raider. Or that the map itself was pretty huge, so maybe you're able to like wander off and do a side quest or gather some collectibles or whatever. I really think that the game is going to be divided in these like hub worlds where you know, you will like travel through them, of course, but you have this like linear storyline, I guess, generally, to actually get to the next one. But at the same time, you can always backtrack and do something else that you might have still missed, that is more on the side, and that doesn't affect the main storyline of the game, right? So I think that's the reason why it's going to turn out to be that long. But that's pretty awesome because, of course, you know, it does mean that you're going to get more hours out of your experience. And as long as it can maintain the same level of quality throughout, then that's always a good thing, right? So, yeah, I mean, of course, we didn't actually learn anything about the release date yet, apart from the fact that a dog apparently ate it. But, you know, like, when he said that during PlayStation Experience, obviously, you know, I'm like, well, that's a funny joke, but he's gonna reveal what the actual release date is gonna be in a minute now, right? And then he ended up just not doing it. That was really surprising to me, because I just thought for sure that they were gonna tell you what the release date was. But no, I mean, it seems like Sony is really keeping their cards very close to their chest right now. And yeah, like the game still has the early 2018 release window, which would mean that March is like the latest that it could come out, if that means actually the first quarter, which people told me it does. So, you know, right now the fact that we're almost in January and we still do not have a release date for the game is a little crazy to me. But nonetheless, that also means that once they do announce the release date, we probably really don't have to wait long anymore to actually play the game. So yeah, it's not going to be too long. We already know that. So that's cool nonetheless. So last thing I wanted to talk about is the ESRB rating. Basically, the game has gotten a rating already. Those people have apparently been able to play an early build of the game or whatever. It won't surprise anyone that it got an M for mature, because the game contains blood and gore, intense violence, and strong language. But I really quickly wanted to warn you know, the people that really want to go in without anything spoiled for them or any, you know, surprises already being revealed, because this little piece of text does contain a couple of things that could be seen as a spoiler, I think. One of them might be huge or might end up not being that huge at all, but I don't really know about that. So if you really want to go in with, like, you know, all the surprises still there, then, you know, like, I guess don't bother really continuing this video. But for those who don't, you know, care that much, I guess you can just, you know, read along and see what it says about the game. So yeah, let's simply read it. It says, "This is an action-adventure game in which players assume the role of half-human, half-god-like Kratos as he battles supernatural forces with his son. From an over-the-shoulder perspective, players travel through the Norse wilderness and use axes, double-chain blades, and swords to battle various enemies, like rival gods and demigods, monsters, dragons, and skeleton warriors. Combat is frequent and often bloody, with characters punching and kicking each other repeatedly, using bladed weapons to slash, stab, and impale enemies. Larger enemies and bosses are dispatched in more intense sequences of violence, Kratos slashing and stabbing a dragon's tongue, a character using an axe to hook and tear off an ogre's jaw. During one sequence, players decapitate off-screen an imprisoned character and carry the severed head around. Headless corpses also appear in other screens, and the words fucking asshole appear in dialogue. So, you know, it sounds like typical God of War to me, to be honest. But the reason why I said that, you know, this might contain some spoilers pretty much is that a lot of people were wondering, are we only going to be playing with this, you know, like this traditional axe or whatever that Kratos has? Does he not get back his typical, you know, weapons that he used to have in the previous games, like the chains? Yeah, the double chain blades that they're talking about here, right? Like, that, I think that is going to be a pretty big reveal once he gets those back. I would think that could end up being a pretty big moment in the game. So, yeah, that's like the one thing that I was a little, I guess, a little sad about, that they revealed this already here, although at the same time, hey, maybe it's not going to be that big of a deal at all, but we'll have to find out about that. I'm sure there's still plenty of stuff that will end up being really surprising and is going to probably blow us away when playing the game. So those are pretty much all the details that we know so far about the new God of War. Let me know in the comments how you feel about all of it, of course. If you're still hyped for the game, how much you're looking forward to it. And then with that being said, I hope you really enjoyed yeah, this video. Once again, I want to wish you all a happy new year. Hope that 2018 is going to end up being an awesome year for you all. So with that being said, leave a quick like, of course, to help support my channel. And then for now, thanks a lot for watching and hope to see you again next time.